Is your beacon of music in the land of the Pirates in ENC. Open at noon 7 days a week with live music. Come enjoy sports trivia with me, Clip Rock, every Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, it's live local acoustic night, along with line dancing from 7 to 9 on Wednesday. Thursday, there's a brand new lineup with Singo starting at 8, followed by karaoke with DJ Dog. Ladies and free both Friday and Saturday nights with the best local bands in the area. Finish the weekend with free games and DJ Kid Scene.
Y'all come get fucked up.
Mow like a pro with Hustler zero-turn mowers. They engineer their mowers to be maintenance and service friendly for the everyday homeowner while not sacrificing the build and cut quality they're known for. From the heavy-duty frame to the welded steel deck to their trademark smooth track steering, Hustler zero-turn mowers deliver professional grade cut quality for a perfectly manicured lawn. Come into Ron Ayers Motorsports to see the Hustler difference for yourself today. Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville.
This is Talbot Green with Integrity Home Mortgage. Are you ready and pre-approved if the home you want to purchase comes for sale today? This is a very important step when trying to purchase a home in the current market. Integrity Home Mortgage offers a wide variety of loan programs. Our team of Talbot Green, Braxton Green, and Joanne Weir has over 50 years of experience and is committed to providing you with the superior customer service you deserve.
To get started, call me, Joanne Weir, at 531-1148.
Joanne Weir, NMLS 75974. For informational purposes only, Integrity Home Mortgage Corporation is an equal housing lender, NMLS 208516.
You want a sub made the authentic Jersey way? You go to Jersey Mike's. You want a radio idea? You go to me. Like this. I'm a talking dog that only talks about Jersey Mike's. My owner says, "Hey, buddy." And I'm like, "Get me an authentic Jersey sub." He says, "That's all you ever think about." And I say, "No. I also think about teaching myself to drive the Jersey Mike's, but until I figure that out, you're all I have." Woof, woof. Made the authentic Jersey way since 1956. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, this is State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer right here in Greenville. We can switch your auto and home insurance so you can start saving today. My team and I are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. With Timothy Sawyer State Farm, it's easy to switch and save. Just give us a call, 493-0002. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
There's more to fall than just Pirate football. It's also a great time to list your home for sale with ENC Pirate Realty Allen Tate. Why should you list your house for sale in the fall? Buyers are ready now. Many buyers are expecting interest rates to adjust by the end of the year, and they're getting ready to start their search now, ahead of the spring market when competition increases.
Visit our website, encpiraterealty.com, to connect with our experienced team of agents.
Go Pirates!
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, West, Allen, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
Find new roads with Chevrolet at PhelpsChevrolet.com.
Here with Greg Lassiter from Champions Gym. And Greg, you've got a tremendous staff working for you with professional trainers. You've got classes like cycle, Pilates, muscle pump, Zumba. Talk about what you can bring to people like myself who's just getting back into the physical fitness world.
We've got all those classes, but the main thing we've got is a way for people to come in and feel comfortable. People, when they go in that gym, they feel like that is their home away from home.
Give the address and the phone number.
4190 Bayswater Drive, Winterville, 353-0544.
Champions Health and Fitness.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern Carolina's longest-running sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
The Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg, Bojangles, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Okay, happy Monday, everybody, on this Victory Monday for East Carolina's Pirates. East Carolina knocked off Texas San Antonio 30-20 on Saturday night. The Pirates improving their record now to 3-2, heading to Charlotte to take on the 49ers this week to try to go to 4-2 and 2-0 in the American Athletic Conference. Matt Mattox is the offensive line coach for East Carolina. He's going to join us from his office over at East Carolina. He's been a ton of places, so it'll be interesting to talk to him. He'll talk about that offensive line, and we'll try to get the running game going a little bit, because I think we all know that's got to improve as the Pirates continue to play tougher and tougher competition in the American. So we'll address all of that with Matt Mattox coming up after this.
Fall into comfort with fantastic fall savings from Bostic Sugg Furniture. Transform your home this fall with some of our lowest prices of the season, plus 6 months special financing. Kick back, relax with beautiful motion furniture from Lazy Boy, Bassett, and Best at the guaranteed lowest price. Catch better Z's and save on a comfortable new Serta or Helix mattress with up to 48 months special financing. Cozy up and fall into comfort now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-styled restaurant and bar, and there's always something special happening at the Rick House. Join us for lunch. It's our 2 for $20 lunch special during the week, and it's the perfect spot for that lunch business meeting. The Rick House celebrates the last Thursday of every month with a special wine tasting, and our buffet brunch is to die for. Follow the Rick House on Facebook for the latest schedule. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville. The Rick House.
Pirate football is back, and the only way to dress for game day is to visit UBE or pirateware.com. UBE has all your game day apparel, such as polos, tees, hats, and jerseys. UBE also has all the merchandise to keep your tailgate undefeated. Pirate flags, decals, face tattoos, and more. And for your little pirates, visit our Crow's Nest with Pirate Nation's largest selection of youth apparel. UBE has special hours on Sunday after home games, open from noon till 5. And you can visit pirateware.com anytime. UBE, where every day is game day.
The Holistic Company in downtown Greenville is a family-owned and operated business offering hemp-derived products such as tinctures, topicals, raw flour, skincare products, and more. They even have a drink menu including infused mocktails and frozen lemonade with a variety of flavors to choose from. At the Holistic Company, they pride themselves in offering true education about the hemp plant and its abundant benefits. So stop by 501 Evans Street, just a few doors down from Pirate Radio, to get informed and try the array of products today.
Opportunities await for all students in Pitt County schools. We open doors by finding pathways to provide the best possible chance of success for each to reach their career aspirations of choice. As we head through the 2024-25 school year, we will continue to guide our students for the different journeys of life preparedness. We are committed to enhancing academic achievement and developing personal growth through work-based learning of our many career and technical education programs, college readiness, and solutions those who will be serving our country in the armed forces. Engaging, empowering, and elevating students to be successful citizens, workers, and leaders in a global economy remains our mission. Please visit our website today at pittschools.org. That's pittschools.org to learn how we grow minds and invest in our future through 38 schools and 1 community. Education, the key that unlocks doors of opportunity.
You're listening.
Hey Pirate Nation, be sure to have the best and comfortable shoes with a stop at Fleet Feet. This is ECU alum Chris Lunyon, owner of Fleet Feet of Greenville, and we provide solutions through one-on-one service to runners, walkers, and everyone in between. Fleet Feet has the tools and technology to get you in the right shoe, including a 3D foot scanner that measures arch height, width, and more. Come visit us at 207 East Arlington Boulevard in the old Gordon's Golf location. Fleet Feet, we run for you.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arr!
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Victory Monday for East Carolina. Pirates knocking off UTSA over the weekend 30-20. Matt Mattox spent some time with Texas San Antonio. He's the offensive line coach at East Carolina now. We're going to talk to him about his team and his room's performance, I guess you could say, as the Pirates get that big win and look to go now to 3-2 on the season with that win, trying to go 4-2 at Charlotte this week. Coach Mattox, how are you on this Monday?
I'm doing well. It's always great after a victory, that's for sure.
I bet it is. I tell you what, when you think back to how hard everybody works all the time, and I think fans don't even have an idea about how much goes into each and every game and each and every practice, and just all of the work that goes into everything. It's a mountain of work, isn't it?
It is absolutely a mountain of work. I mean, you've got student trainers to full-time trainers, student workers. I mean, you've got everybody, the day-to-day operations, the strength conditioning that pour their heart and soul in it for the players, and not to mention, obviously, all the players and the work they put in on a day-to-day basis. But it takes a lot of people to run this thing, and a lot of people have their hands in it, and we definitely appreciate all the support and the help, and that's the big thing, is keeping the main thing with the people in the building that are providing for our student athletes.
Matt Mattox spent some years at Texas San Antonio, a couple of Conference USA titles when you were there, lots of wins for sure. What was it like on the other sideline this week?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was definitely, I knew kind of probably what they were telling their guys and kind of some of the messages, and just trying to, get our guys prepared for the defensive front, the structure and things like that, as far as, what they were going to be given and what their personnel kind of, gave to us, as well as, structurally. So, it's definitely a little different. Definitely, know all those guys, and a lot of those guys still have some personal relationships with a ton of them. So, seeing that, but obviously once that ball's kicked off and once we get going, man, we're in the zone, and it's doing whatever I can do to help my guys win and help my guys find an advantage for sure.
That's one of the things I've always respected about assistant coaches and all coaches, really, but just the relationships that you form no matter where you're at. And then when you have to go back and play some of those guys, it's a little different, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's, you see some kids before the game, after the game, you had your hand in recruiting them, and you have those, no matter what. And that's the beautiful thing about football and why we're all in this profession. It's all about relationships, whether it's, with coaching staffs and personnel that way, but also obviously the players and having those relationships. So yeah, you still have those personal relationships with people and those types of things, but it's all about getting the job done. That's the biggest thing.
Take us back to last year when you're finishing up the football season and you get the call from East Carolina. Take us through that process.
Yeah, it was exciting. Getting the opportunity. Obviously, I being a coach, and like I said, just being in the game long enough, having played here, shooting go way back as a player, and having coached here a couple times, like I knew what this environment, what this place was like, and being able to, you want to coach you want to play, and you want to coach at a place that cares, and so to know that was there, and the support and what was in place, it was a great deal. My family was very excited, the tradition, the history here, and so being able to come in and hopefully, put our stamp on it and have an opportunity to do some great things offensively and as a whole team, that was obviously also an exciting part of it as well.
Did you know John David Baker beforehand?
I did, yes. Actually, we go way back, probably, 2014, I guess, was probably about the first time one of my longtime coaches I coached with, my Sterling Gilbert, who's now actually coaching at Cal. He was, offense coordinator guy, and we ran this offense for quite a while back in the day. And he was actually Coach Baker's head coach in high school, and they ran this offense. And so just at our time, I think it was actually when we were at Bowling Green together, Coach Baker ended up coming up, and I've known him since then, since about 2014. So, yeah, we had a relationship, and having that familiarity and that connection, and obviously, being in this offense, at one point in my career, and actually for probably about 9 years of my career coaching this offense, it made a ton of sense.
How does it affect the offensive linemen in this offense? And obviously it does because it's so up tempo, and the guys have to, regroup, revamp, and get ready for play number 2 after play number 1. And it's a quick process. But how difficult is that for the big guys?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you have to find you've got to do things. It's on my job to during the week, and on their job during the week to really lock into the game plan, to really make sure I'm giving them the looks and making sure they're just 100% confident in knowing what to do and how to do it. And then after that, it's we talk about see fast, know fast, play fast, and just making sure that we can communicate, we can get our calls in quickly, but it's about doing our job at a high level with the execution of our technique and fundamentals. But it's a good thing as far as if you had a bad play the play before or something like that, you got to move on and go to the next play, which is great. You got to have that short memory. And same thing, if you have a great play the play before, you got to move on and be ready for the next play. So it always keeps in that next play mentality. But it definitely, especially as you're learning and installing and doing that, it takes some time. But that's our challenge weekly, is to make sure we're providing them with the tools they need to be able to go out there and play fast and play clean. Because if they're not thinking, shoot, we got a chance. That's for sure.
It's kind of like a defensive back. They always say defensive backs have to have a short memory, and you have to play the next play. But very similar concept there with those offensive linemen.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Never too high, never too low. You've got to be able to balance, especially there in the trenches. You've got to be able to balance that aggression and that intensity without, but also being able to maintain some mental clarity. You can't be going through this thing like a meathead, and then you just can't think or focus and stuff like that. So it's still we want all that physicality. We need all that ball get off, all that strike, and that type of D-line mentality. But we've got to be able to do our part pre-snap to communicate and do all that good stuff.
You've had so many stops at some really named places, especially when you look at the Texas Longhorns. But you came to East Carolina after coaching at Ronald Reagan High School, the Rattlers, 11-1, 6A District 28 champions. What was it like on the high school ranks?
Well, I'll tell you what, the game planning for myself was a little easier at times, maybe a little less defensive structure, so that made it nice at times. The thing that it does for you is you really get a chance to see like how your teaching is. Like can you teach it at all levels? Or you can only handle it if it's at this level? And so it makes you have to really explain things, makes you have to teach things, and it shows me that if you demand details, no matter what level you're at, and if you can keep things consistent with how you practice and how your techniques are, that any those guys will adapt and they'll adjust and they'll go do some things. We had some really great players. It was a fun time. It was a cool experience, that's for sure.
Some coaches come through and they really enjoy the high school ranks, and they stay. There are some legendary high school coaches around that could have probably coached in college, maybe even in the pros, but they stay on the high school level just because of that teaching and that kind of thing. But when you look working with young people in this day and age, it's changed so much with social media, cell phones, that kind of thing. Was it kind of refreshing to get back into the college ranks, or are those, the kids basically the same, whether they're 16, 17, or 19, 20?
Well, there are a lot of similarities between 16 and 20. That is,
I would say,
that's absolutely for sure. But no, I enjoyed my time there. I think I was definitely excited about getting back in the college world, and not only just to be able to expand it maybe a little bit further as far as some things schematically and just some fundamental things that I wanted to be able to do. But no, I think there's a lot of similarities. I think the biggest thing is consistency, is demanding the details. It's having the expectations of what practice looks like, what meetings look like, what does it look like, for recovery, all those things. And I think, kids just need guidance, and they want that structure. And as long as you do it and you can be demanding without being demeaning, I think that's key to all of that.
Matt Mattox, the offensive line coach in his first year at East Carolina. Our guest today on the phone over at his office at ECU as the Pirates get set for Charlotte. We'll, of course, talk more about that game coming up in just a bit. Talk about the UTSA game a little bit as a whole from your unit. How did you feel like you guys played?
Well, I think at sometimes I think we ran some of our gap schemes, some of our counter schemes a little bit better. We were able to get a little bit movement and create a little bit of some separation at the point of attack there, and I probably wish I had maybe ran a little bit more of that, just knowing how it went into that. But I thought they did some good things on that. At the point of attack, we had some big boys inside, and I think that's something that we've got to continue to focus on at the point of attack. And when we have our double teams, being able to be really consistent at that. The one thing with our pass pro, I feel like we're getting better and better every week with our technique and fundamentals. There's still some things that obviously as I look at the end of the film, like there's some shots on the quarterback that we've got to get off. There's things and some base downs and some things that man, our man's taking some hits there that we really got to clean up on that part of it. But the fundamentals are starting to show up. The communication is being good in the pass pro. It's just eliminate some of those unnecessary hits.
Matt Mattox joining us. We're taking your questions or comments on our Facebook Live page, also our YouTube page. If you have anything you'd like to ask the coach, we'll pass it along. When you started your career, obviously as a player, and I listened to, I think it was an interview with Clip Brock from the summer, but you were talking about the fact that you were at Houston as a tight end, and then you ate your way into an offensive line position, which is a great line. How did you like playing offensive line after playing tight end?
Well, I think they put the TE by my name, but I was always like an ET. So when I was at JUCO, we were a run first, outside zone, power and that type of stuff with some slips and some nakeds. That was about it. So my run game, my pass game was very limited on what I was doing. So I was always very active in the run game. Enjoyed it. Obviously, being a high school kid, I played right tackle in the wishbone out of high school. So there you go. But just that was always much more natural to me. And, when Coach Briles came in my senior year, obviously they were moving to a up-tempo, didn't hardly use tight ends, run and shoot, veer and shoot type offense. And so it was, and I think it was after a Christmas break there, a long Christmas break, which happens when you don't go to bowl games. And,
yeah.
And it was a little bit easier for me to make that tackle weight going into it. That's for sure.
And then you developed under Art Briles, and that relationship has to mean a lot to you.
Oh, absolutely. I got a chance to kind of see when he came in and just his approach to practice, his approach to his players, his approach to recruiting, and like finding talent, and just kind of the track time and just doing different things like that. But just how he treated people. Man, I always heard all these horror stories from all these GAs and all this, that, and the other, and I was like, oh yeah, I never dealt with any of that stuff. So just was always given a chance to coach, and was always given a chance to learn and do that. But yeah, it was a great experience.
Some of your stops included Texas, as I mentioned earlier, Tulsa, Bowling Green, Eastern Illinois, McNeese State, South Florida. When you were at Texas, did you get the sensation that this is the top of the line as far as everything that these kids are given or have, as far as just the stuff that you guys were able to get your hands on and everything? Because when I visited Austin about a year and a half ago with the ECU women when they played in that regional, I mean, I was amazed at everything around the campus there athletically. It was just amazing, and they were still building stuff.
Yeah, and that was kind of probably back when I was there. That was probably the only thing that they were still missing a little bit, and they completely upgraded all their stuff and taken the next level to another deal. But you are correct. I mean, when you're at that place, especially in the state of Texas, I mean, you can walk into a lot of high schools and have some pretty easy access to recruits and coaches and things like that. So on that front of it, it definitely made it, you had to do your job as far as really evaluating and figuring it out, but you definitely would always have an in, being at that type of position and that type of place in that state. And so, and I think the biggest thing for me too, just being in that environment early, I was like, shoot, as I look back on it, I was like, man, I wish I was a better coach at that point. But it was also just a chance for me to really learn, like being in a pressure cooker type environment with all the eyes there, and just seeing that regardless of who these 4 or 5 star were, these kids, whatever, that I'm taking over, like they were just all the same. They just wanted to be coached. They wanted to know what to do. They wanted to have a purpose and doing all that stuff. And so, there you're trying to deal with maybe some more things about, handling mental game off the field and dealing with the pressures and some of those things, as well as, you're trying to install an offense and trying to do some of those things. So it's just some different circumstances and things as a coach. Until you're in the fire, until you're in those things, you just got to learn as you're going through it.
Again, taking questions or comments on our Facebook Live page, also our YouTube page. Kenny, our good friend, says, can we get the offensive line trying some good old school sweeps and some screen type blocking as far as that goes? Like the old Packers, you got to seal here and you got to seal here. What do you think of that, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Cut the defense, right?
Right.
About that. Anytime we can cut the defense, I'm all about it. And and that was the thing I was excited about. We had some outside zone this last game, and we just kind of were missing here and there, a place in there, and that was the first time we really had probably attacked as much as we had, and so it was good. We'll be able to coach off it and go to work, and I'm with you. I think there's some, we got to continue to find ways to have explosive runs, and whether that's in some good old-fashioned sweep game or some things like that, that's definitely always something we're going to always be looking at to make sure we stay in the game plan and stay active to put pressure on defenses.
As far as the games go so far, was the Old Dominion game the best game the offensive line played? Because that's the game we think about, the long run from Rajay and just, establishing that run.
Yeah, I think we did what we did is we were able to be really, sometimes when they, brought some pressures and things like that, we were able to be very advantageous during those. And we had our running back Rajay did a really nice job during those couple of those long runs and the big runs there to breaking through a tackle. And I think that's the key is, number one, being detailed up front, making sure we're on our landmarks and edges and stuff. And we know at the running back position that there's going to be one more we got to make miss or break a tackle. And I think as long as we continue to do that and work our physicality, which we do a great job in practice and just finishing, and I think we're still going to be able to have that. And I think that's what the Charlotte, like you said, or not Charlotte, but during that ODU game, that's exactly, you felt those big runs pop because of some of those, and we've got to get back to doing that. And we're not that far off, but at the same time, that's the beauty of it when you watch an offensive, putting plays together. I mean, a 6-inch edge here, a little bit of a landmark here, stutter my feet in the hole here compared to hitting it. All those things matter, and so it's just making sure we're really detailed and then we're explosive when we get our chance.
Coach, how difficult was it for you and the offensive linemen in the game the other night at Liberty with the 4 hours and 45 minutes or whatever it turned out to be delay, not kicking the thing off, or not actually, you don't have to kick off. We'd already had 2 series, but still getting back to work in the game sometime around 10 minutes till 11 o'clock. The game goes till close to 2. How hard was that for you guys?
I mean, it was a couple times of, there was a couple times in between there we thought we were going to get revved back up.
That was the hard part.
Back now. Yeah, no doubt. And so I think, I told our guys, and that's the tough thing about when you have wins and losses, right? It's the results sometimes are not what you want, but at the same time you can be proud of how they handle things, and you can be proud of certain ways that we responded to certain situations and did certain things. Now, the result was definitely not what we wanted, so we went up there to win the game, but there were some things that I was very proud with how they handled it. I thought they did mentally, they were fine. I thought they came back in and regrouped, and then we went back out there, and for the most part, besides some things that we got to just clean up to quit hurting ourselves, I thought they did a pretty good job going back out there.
Had you ever been involved in a game like that with that long of a delay?
That was definitely the longest one.
I bet.
That's for sure. I think I was telling some of the guys, I said the only other time I think I had a real delay like that was I had to go all the way back to my JUCO days coaching at Coffeyville Community College, and we just canceled the game and went the next day and played in front of about 20 people at about 9 a.m. on a Sunday. So I said, hopefully we don't do that when we were at Liberty, that's for sure.
Hey, we were in Houston 2 or 3 years ago, and just this storm just settled right there on the city of Houston. I think that was like a 3-hour So a lot of us, had been through something like that before. And the thing about the other night, in Lynchburg was they weren't really expecting anything crazy like that. They knew there's a chance of a thunderstorm or something like that. Usually get a thunderstorm last 30 minutes, you get back out there, maybe an hour delay. But that baby just hung around and hung around. And really, I thought for a while there that there would be no football. I thought, and I think they came out and said, if we're not warming up before 11, we're not going to play tonight. But luckily, they got the thing in. It'd been better off if East Carolina could have pulled off that win. But playing that late at night or early on Sunday morning had to be difficult.
Absolutely, and if we could all have the weatherman job, we'd all.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But no, it was definitely tough, and and that's something too. Just I think we got by the time we were getting home Sunday morning, it was probably around 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Those guys, and we're getting back, so it's just. It's a testament to those guys, bouncing back, getting their bodies right, trying to, focus back up. And, I mean, there's a lot of things that not only go into just a game day, but then you think about the recovery part of it and the time they got home and just having to flip that around and be ready to go for another week. I mean, that's a big credit to those guys.
Talking with Matt Mattox, the offensive line coach in his first year at East Carolina. We've got a couple of questions on our Facebook Live page. We're going to pass those along. We'll take a commercial break right now. We've got Coach until about 12:45. We got to let him go for a meeting then. So we'll keep him until 12:45, and then we'll get him out of here. But we've got some other questions. Your questions, comments also are welcome. Back with more on The Brian Bailey Show on this Monday after this.
This is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville. ECU alum Justin Hardy went over 100 yards receiving again for Ottawa in a 29-16 loss to Saskatchewan. Hardy has 90 catches for over 1,200 yards and 4 touchdowns for the season. In the NFL, the Broncos beat the Jets 10-9. Jaquan McMillan had 6 tackles for Denver, and Gardner Minshew threw for 130 yards as the Raiders beat the Browns 20-16. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break. I'm Shirley Rhodes.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers. Burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arrgh!
Where do you find the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in Eastern North Carolina? It's DriveHereNow.com. DriveHereNow.com is a combination of 4 dealerships in Eastern North Carolina with a fully stocked inventory of over 200 SUVs, trucks, and cars. If you're looking to upgrade your vehicle or purchase for a new driver in the house, get shopping today at DriveHereNow.com. DriveHereNow.com, supporting the Pirates for over 47 years.
Hey Pirate Nation, be sure to have the best and comfortable shoes with a stop at Fleet Feet. This is ECU alum Chris Lunyon, owner of Fleet Feet of Greenville, and we provide solutions through one-on-one service to runners, walkers, and everyone in between. Fleet Feet has the tools and technology to get you in the right shoe, including a 3D foot scanner that measures arch height, width, and more. Come visit us at 207 East Arlington Boulevard in the old Gordon's Golf location. Fleet Feet, we run for you.
This is a public notice, only at Discount Mattress and Furniture, 1501 Evans Street in Greenville. Every single item must be sold at pennies on the dollar, up to 75% off mattresses, furniture, wall to wall, only at Discount Mattress and Furniture. All wood chest, $99. Computer desk, $99. Nightstands, $49. Dinette sets, table and 4 chairs, $199. Chairs, end tables, coffee tables, $20. Bedroom suits, living room suits, up to 75% off. Regular mattresses sets, regular $500. Today, $200. Pay our cash, check, and credit card. Second chance credit, no credit, new credit, bad credit. 9 days, same as cash. Bring your truck and trailers to save even more. U-Haul trucks will be on location for pickup of merchandise absolutely free. Public notice, Discount Mattress and Furniture, 1501 Evans Street in Greenville. Hurry, when it's gone, it's gone. Winning is not everything, it's the only thing.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show on this Monday. Pirates knocking off UTSA 30-20. Next up is the 49ers of Charlotte, 3:30 kickoff. One other note from this Monday, Noah Perez, the kicker for East Carolina, in his first game with the Pirates, a transfer from Akron, 3 for 3 field goals, 3 for 3 on PATs, 12 total points, and he was honored today by the American Athletic Conference as their special teams player of the week. So congratulations to Noah Perez. Coach, what's it like when you have a guy that goes out and kicks and makes everything all of a sudden?
I'll tell you what, that was really nice, and that was the biggest thing. I was, as we watched the film on Sunday there at the field goal team and just talking about it was, being able to go out there and be 5 for 5 and be automatic and know that we were going to, getting every point that matters. And I think that's the big thing as we were talking just in field goal and everything in general is, every point's going to matter. There's going to be a lot of close games through here, so being able to go out there and stay ahead of it with the points is going to be a big deal, and it was exciting to see. And so I was really fired up for Noah and those guys, and just being able to go execute.
Again, questions or comments on our Facebook Live page, our YouTube page. Pirate House, is any freshmen or transfers that they look like they could contribute this year? He says he thinks McCrimmon has a lot of talent.
Yeah, we've actually, and McCrimmon's gotten a chance to get some reps in here. He actually played quite a bit this past game, and he's had the last couple games he's been able to get some play in. And this past one, like I said, he got quite a big bulk of it after a few series. So, excited about what he's been doing and the work he's been putting in at work and in practice. And a lot of it all started all the way back in the spring, and then even this summer with how those young guys getting the chance to continue to change their bodies and develop and to work in the off-season program. And he did a really nice job, and he's just continually, kept getting better and better and figuring it out. A lot of those guys just need a chance to play. They're just trying to adjust to the college football speed, and it might not be week 1, it might not be week 3, but, all of a sudden week 4, 5, 6, you're like, okay, they're starting to really figure it out. And so I'm excited really about him and what he's been able to do to help us. And, Jason Tarpey is he's a transfer kid that's kind of, worked around. He's been getting in on quite a bit of field goal action. He's been starting on that and doing that, and looking at maybe being able to have him come spell at times and do some of that stuff as well. So we've got some guys that have continued to get better, and that's the name of the game, because you never know when we're going to need other bodies, and the more we can have ready to go and game ready, the better off we're going to be.
How much are you able to substitute during a game, and is it a matter of sending 1 or 2 guys in at a time, or is it kind of on an individual basis?
Yeah, it's a little more individual, or just trying to make sure that if I do happen to, let's say we're going to rotate a couple guys, like maybe making sure that the starter is not in, both maybe you don't want both subs in at the same time or whatever it is, but I think more so it's, some guys, I've had some guys that just physically maybe are a little beat up, or they're battling back from injuries, and they need a little bit of, ability to get a little relief early, especially so they can be able to be as fresh as they can be late in the game. Some of that's like, I've had guys that if they got past 30 reps, oh boy, watch out! You never knew what was going to happen.
Really?
If they stayed about 25 reps, and you got another 45 or 30, 55 out of another guy, like, you could piece together a really good deal. But I mean, ultimately, you would love to just play 5 only at a time, and not ever have to mess with them. I think that's only happened one time in my career. So, making sure that we always have pieces and making sure those guys get an opportunity to get live reps, because there's nothing better, and there's no way to substitute game reps. As much as you want to try at practice and you try to put it as close as possible, there's just nothing that can simulate those game reps.
Another question coming in: what do you see from the Charlotte defensive line that the Pirates can attack coming up on Saturday?
Well, they're definitely, they're big, they're athletic, they're a long outfit, so I think, they'll move around quite a bit, so we've got to be able to utilize kind of some of our schemes and some of our ability to knock some people off the ball and catch them in some of their movements. We're going to have to do a great job, especially on the edges. They're going to play two big defensive ends and stand-ups and that type of stuff, so whether we're in pass pro or winning our one-on-ones, we're going to have to do a great job in the run and pass game on that part of it. But, I think the biggest thing is for us to focus on what we've got to do with our technique and fundamentals, being the most physical group out there, and making sure we play clean football. And I feel good about what we're putting together.
Take us through what the offensive line has to deal with every play. There's not a huddle. I mean, it's not like you guys are getting in and talking about anything. It's like the running back gets stopped. He runs and gives the football to the official. The official's marking the football. Now, what happens from there with the quarterback signals, with you guys signaling stuff in? Obviously, now you can talk to the quarterback, or somebody can. I guess John David Baker does that. But what happens as far as what the offensive linemen are responsible for?
Yeah, that's the big thing is our guys are, they're a big vital part of our tempo. And so finishing to the football, like you said, and making sure that they're, getting down around the ball, that's always a big thing for us. And that way we can get our centers set as fast as possible. And I think that's the key as far as just doing that, is having that urgency with your center. He sets it and he starts pushing the tempo, and then getting your guards set to where your tackles can be set, and you can just, get up there and get lined up as fast as possible. The verbiage coming in and the communication, we're going to be told what's going on. So we're getting it and we're rolling and making any call that we need to make. I mean, we know we've got, a couple seconds at the most, and we're ready to snap that thing. And so, the biggest thing with tempo and anytime you're doing it, you can never wait on an offensive lineman to snap the football. So we've got to be set. We've got to get up there and have our eyes, forward and communicating and seeing things. So when it's time to go, we're ready to roll.
Does the quarterback set the protection, or is the center responsible for certain things? Do you have to call out, one area? A lot of times in the pros you hear, the middle linebacker or the mic. I mean, what goes on as far as that goes?
Yeah, we've got multiple ways that we can do it. We've got some things where the quarterback can set the protections. We've got some different deals where our centers are setting some protections. Communication's always crucial with our tackles. They're centers and tackles, especially when you're playing fast, whether, when you're playing tempo, those are the two guys. You got to see your edges and you got to see the box, right? So those are your guys that really have to do a great job communicating any alerts or anything like that in the protection world. But, we're going to have, multiple ways to be able to go attack guys in the protection world for sure.
Has it been easier this year with the communication to the quarterback? And I think I was talking to somebody last week. They said that using the tablets was more of a game changer than the actual communications in the helmet.
Yeah, because you're still having to use signals. You're still having to do a lot of the same things with the communication, and obviously it's always advantageous if you can directly talk to somebody for a little bit at least. But yeah, you're still having to do that. But the tablets, to me, you're dead on, is a game changer on both sides of the ball. Being able to see things, especially O-line wise. I mean, just so many little fundamental deals that go into it. Just being able to get instant feedback, structurally instant feedback on how they're maybe doing something, or if we should have gone something, should ID the spot here or there. But it's very, very good on that part of it. And then it also makes you as a offense have to be ready to adjust if you're getting something. And I think that's the name of the game now too, is being able to have the play after the play. If all of a sudden they come out and give you something different, or they decide to switch it up on you a little bit.
Yeah, one of the coaches told me, he said, believe it or not, sometimes you ask a question and those guys will lie to you. I thought that was hilarious.
That's always a rule. I kind of, we always talk about preseason. It's like, make sure you tell me the truth.
That's right.
I can live with you saying you just whiffed on a guy rather than something, and here we are thinking something else.
Yeah. You can live with the fact if you admit, hey, I just missed that block. If you say, no, he wasn't there, Coach, I swear. He wasn't anywhere near me.
Not even close. You're standing right next to you. Yeah, no doubt.
Got about 4 or 5 minutes left with Coach Mattox, offensive line coach, before we get him out of here on this Monday. Talk personally for you. What's it been like in Greenville, North Carolina, for you and your family, the 2 children? I mean, everybody adjusted okay?
Everybody's done awesome. We were able to get my family here in February, and so my girls were able to jump right into school, and the teachers and the students and everybody there just they were welcomed right away, and same thing with my wife. Obviously, you the great thing is when you move into a new family, as far as your football family, you have instant wives and kids in the group of people that are dealing with the same thing, and husbands on the same schedules, and so having that support system has been great, and we love where we live. We love our area. Got a nice big backyard for my two big old goober dogs, and so they're able to run around and just enjoy the community. And I think I'm trying about every restaurant I can. So y'all just wait if I haven't been to yours yet. But I've enjoyed it. We've gotten over to Little Washington and just love the area, and just been able to travel to get to the beach and up to Washington D.C. and just different things around the area while we've been here with the family, and it's been awesome.
We also want to take a second to just tell the people in the western side of our state how much we're thinking of them, praying for them. And some of the video is just absolutely devastating when you see that and everything that's going on. And, I was here, obviously, in 99 when that situation was going on. But I can't imagine, we kind of knew some of the facts, and it's kind of flat here. So, I mean, we were able to navigate our way through. And it was hard for a lot of people here, don't get me wrong. But to see complete houses floating down what were streets before, I mean, it's just been crazy, hasn't it, Coach?
That is you're right. I mean, obviously thoughts and prayers with all those that are affected by that, and seeing those images, man, that was tough to see. And speaking of travel, like a few years ago, my family and I had made a trip out to Asheville and saw, and so we were looking, and my wife showing me some of these videos. She's like, "You remember this is where we were walking, this is where we were hanging out," and you're seeing some of those places, 5 feet underwater, 6 feet underwater and stuff. And like you said, houses floating by. It's just a tough situation, and obviously, thoughts and prayers for all those, and hopefully we can, I can. That's a tough deal, right? As coaches, players, you're trying to go through all that, and you're dealing with natural disasters and stuff like that. So obviously, a lot of people involved with that.
Yeah, I tell you what, and just the pictures and the video especially has just been, heartbreaking for some of that. But we certainly want to let everybody know in the western part of the state that we're certainly thinking about them. And the same thing, like I think a lot of us have been through the Biltmore, and you see the Biltmore Village and what it's going through right now, and just devastating in the western part of our state. Wrapping things up now with Coach Mattox, the offensive line coach at East Carolina. Coach, when you get ready for the Charlotte 49ers, as you start preparing, obviously Tuesdays and Wednesdays are the days that you guys really put most of your work in. What are some of the things that you'll do with your offensive linemen coming up?
Well, we get right back to the work. We're getting on that sled. We're going to get right back into our everyday drills. We're going to get our walkthroughs in to try to really, start seeing and feeling everything as far as how these guys play things, the different, ways they play, up front with their D tackles, D ends, and linebackers, and you start just trying to get knowledge, right? You're just trying to get information and gather information and provide that information to our guys. And so we'll start with our base downs and some short yardage, and we'll kind of work our way into third downs and red zones throughout the week, and just kind of start chopping it down one at a time and try to stay very consistent with what we're doing, technique fundamentals, and just getting our bodies and minds ready to go for this road trip. That's for sure.
How much do you worry about film work before, say on a Monday? Do you guys get it together in your room and look at film, or is that mainly Tuesday and Wednesday when you're not practicing, or is that later in the week?
Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday you're going to be going. I mean, I've got a lot of great veterans right now that they'll grab those guys and they'll get together. And the great thing is I can make cut-ups, and I can shoot them cut-ups on their phone, and they can on their tablets, phones, and they can get together in the O-line room. They can do whatever they need to on their own on Mondays to really start getting that information and start getting those types of things. So it's good. They can run by and grab some notes and stuff like that and head off. And so having the access on the phones and tablets makes it nice to be able to get that information started early.
So 10 years ago, did you ever think you could just, get on your phone and send a couple of clips to an offensive lineman and say, hey, check out number 91 here and what he did on this play, what he did on that play. Check out the two plays and just send it to him?
No, absolutely not. No, they would have had to come back up, or we would have I would have been having to like video it on my phone and sending them a message or something. Maybe I don't even know what would have happened. So I still have to just ask some of these guys. I'm like, you guys know what a VHS is? Do you know what a DVD is? I have to remember how old I am and have to kind of check back in with these guys since most of them weren't even born in the 2000s. So, trying to make sure everybody's just educating them, I guess, a little bit.
And since you're a former high school coach, I can remember when coaches had to get in the car on Saturday morning and drive a tape and meet the coach of the next team, and they would swap tapes, and that's how it was kind of a gentleman's agreement. They would do stuff like that.
Absolutely. We were still doing that. I can remember in 2013 at Eastern Illinois, we'd have one of our student assistants drive and meet that student assistant and get film exchange. So it was still going on even then. So you're right. Technology is a crazy thing. It's a great thing. And as long as you use it the right way, it's very beneficial.
Matt Mattox, the offensive line coach at East Carolina. Coach, we told you we'd get you out of here at 12:45. My clock says 12:45, so we'll get you out. Thanks so much for your time on this Monday. I know you guys are super, super busy getting ready for Charlotte, but we certainly appreciate the conversation, and I think a lot of folks probably enjoyed hearing from you today.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, and we appreciate all the support from y'all and all the Pirate fans out there. So appreciate y'all, and go Pirates.
Matt Mattox joining us. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back and have some thoughts on the sports world on this Monday after this.
The Angus Grill is your premier spot for the best burgers, cheesesteaks, and brisket sandwiches around. Join us for our unmatched variety of burger combinations. From the mushroom bacon Swiss burger to the jalapeno popper burger to the original Angus classic. Pair that burger with our amazing onion rings, tots, fries, or sweet potato fries. Angus Grill, with 4 amazing locations in eastern North Carolina, including Winterville near Pitt Community College, on Jarvis Street in uptown Greenville, and on Statensburg Road near the hospital. It's the best burger around, guaranteed.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
It's bow time. Some classics never go out of style, like fresh egg, American cheese, and hickory smoked bacon on a made-from-scratch biscuit. But why stop there? Pair it with crispy bow rounds and a hot coffee or medium drink. Your morning deserves a breakfast that has it all. From the fluffy egg and crispy bacon to the melted cheese and, of course, a legendary Bojangles biscuit. That's the ultimate breakfast combo. Order in the app or at Bojangles. It's bow time.
Hey folks, Coach Steve Logan here, asking you to support the life-saving mission of the Atlantic Beach King Mackerel Tournament this October. This event helps raise needed funds for the fire department's purchase of life-saving gear that could save someone you love.
Join Bojangles, Window World, Flatlands Jessup Insurance, and Linda Wright Real Estate
as we raise money to save lives. Sign up for the Atlantic Beach King Mackerel Tournament or simply make your life-saving donation at WeFishForLife.com.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Want to make your day better? Order a Papa John's pizza. Get an extra large, one-topping New York-style pizza for only $10.99. Made into 8 foldable slices, perfect for sharing or not. See, things just got better, and you get to eat pizza. Hey, Pirate fans, Papa John's is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Go Pirates!
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Once again, I want to thank Matt Mattox, the offensive line coach for East Carolina. He was with us. As he said, he had a meeting to go to, so we had to get him off around 12:45, but we certainly appreciate his time. So we've got a few minutes. We've got one more commercial break to take, but we've got a few minutes to talk about the sports world, the big W. The big W got another big W, didn't they, Clip Brock?
Man, Bailey.
I know. I know. It's awful.
We got an offense. We got a quarterback. We got a
team.
You
had a defense in this game.
Defense showed up.
I thought the Commanders might win the game against the Cardinals, but it would be like 38-35 or something like that. But, yeah.
Now 2 wins on the road, 2-1 on the road, 1-0 at home. In the NFL, you want to take care of your home games and win a few on the road, and so far, so good.
So far, so good. You got Cleveland up next. And after that, I forget who you've got. But you don't play Dallas until later in the season. So those will either be great games or Dallas just trying to figure out what they're going to do with life. But I'm not sure how it's going to go.
Y'all did win. It was
beat the Giants, by golly, 20-15. I thought the Giants were better than they've been of late, last couple of years, but maybe that's just because I have stars on my glasses.
Well, we needed 7 field goals to beat them a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Once again, congratulations to Noah Perez, the transfer from Akron, 3 for 3 on field goals the other night and 3 for 3 in PATs. And you know, you think about a field goal kicker, and obviously their job is to make the kick, but you think back to some of the games earlier, you know, when you miss a kick, when you've got all the momentum and you miss a kick, that can do a lot for your psyche as far as the individual football game is concerned. So I think that's a good sign if Noah Perez keeps it up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I heard some folks talking. Do we know if Conrad's hurt or?
I was told he was banged up, but I'm not sure what that means. I don't know, you know, because the question has to be asked then, how do you get banged up? I mean, you know, so.
And Mike Houston's not going to tell us the answer because I asked him last week if Conrad was.
I remember. I knew somebody asked him. I couldn't remember who it was.
He said, Conrad's our kicker.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Well, he is until he isn't.
Technically, I guess you're right. You're being honest.
He is until he isn't. Pirates play at Charlotte coming up, 3:30 kickoff on ESPNU on Saturday. And, you know, you think about East Carolina and Charlotte. In last year's game, the Pirates were favored in, obviously, at home, and they dropped that game. With any kind of offense, they would have won that game.
Any kind of offense.
But they could say that 4 or 5 times last year.
Charlotte was running a middle school offense in that game. Remember, a lot of quarterback sweeps, and just they were going about 2.5 yards a play, but it was enough. But, we got some revenge to take out on the 49ers this year, and I think ECU will get that, and I think it'll be a big purple crowd there to see it.
I think so, too. And that stadium doesn't seat, but what, 15? Some?
Yeah.
15 or so. I was telling Chandler before we, after the commercial break, this morning I was out on my walk, and I almost got hit by a car. It was I think it's a Blazer. If you're a young man, probably in your early 20s, and drive a white Chevy Blazer somewhere in the neighborhood, I think it's Hardy Road, and not Fire Tower, Portertown and Hardy, I think is where it happened. But he never even looked. He was making a right turn and looked to his left and never looked to the right. And I was coming from the right, obviously, walking. And he almost took me out, Clip. I thought I was a goner. I thought he was going to at least take out my shoulder. But
when your light flashed before your eyes, was I in any of those images?
No, there was no Washington Commanders in that flash. It wasn't really a flash. It was more of if I hadn't had that dexterity that I have, I might have gotten hit. I'm quick as a cat when something like that happens.
I'm glad you're here to tell this story.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm going to have to call Clip. Hey, Clip, you have to take my spot today. But everybody always gets on me because I walk on Portertown, but I don't walk very far on Portertown. I kind of keep an eye on what's going on. But and you'd be surprised how many people are looking at their phones while they're driving. And that's the scary thing.
Yeah.
Because people are so, and I tried not to. And of course, I'm as guilty as ever, like anybody else is. But it was scary. All right, we have one more commercial break to take, and then we'll come back. We'll wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio right after this.
There's a common misbelief today that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue your rigid routine. Or you could try another way. Take some time to enjoy life, like having a Michelob Ultra with friends, because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Michelob Ultra, proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989.
There's a special deal at U.S. Cellular where you can get 4 lines for just $90. It's perfect for you, Barbershop Quartet.
That's us.
There's no trade-in needed, and it comes with 4 free phones of your choice.
4 free phones.
U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
In this new world of having everything delivered to your home or office, why wouldn't you start using Cellular Warehouse for all of your cellular deliveries? Toby Williams and his team are in the business of delivering phones and tablets every day to customers, which enables you to take the hassle out of visiting a store. The best thing about this great service is that it's free. Call Toby Williams today at 252-799-7051. That's 252-799-7051, and let his team make your wireless experience fast and easy. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Did you know that GUC's utility rates are not only low in the region, but also the state? That's right. When you combine the average electric, water, wastewater, and natural gas into one bill, only people in 2 of the 15 largest cities pay less than GUC customers. Only 2. Low rates and high reliability, working in the best interest of the community rather than shareholders. That's the value of public utilities. That's the value of GUC.
Pirate Towing is now the exclusive towing partner for East Carolina Athletics. Pirate Towing has over 20 years of experience, open 24/7, and they can always assist you. Don't be stranded and wait for hours. Pirate Towing offers all roadside assistance to come give you a tow or jump start on game day or any day. Save Pirate Towing in your phone today and let the stress of car trouble go down. Pirate Towing, 955-4670. That's 955-4670, and also on Facebook. Pirate Towing, the preferred towing partner with ECU and Pirate Nation.
Worth Chiropractic and his team are offering a new patient special only at the new location. Come see them at this fantastic facility. A visit to our new location gets you a free consult, complete exam, digital x-rays, and more for only $29. Our amazing new patient $29 deal is only available at the new location, Worth Chiropractic West, 2100 West Arlington Boulevard, offering the same safe, no surgery, drug-free treatment, convenient, comfortable, and cost-effective.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back as we wrap up this edition of The Brian Bailey Show. Big day in sports. You got the Mets and the Braves playing a doubleheader, and if they sweep, one team sweeps the other, the Diamondbacks get in, the way I understand it. But that's an interesting scenario. And really, you got to think about, is it fair that the postseason starts on Tuesday?
Well, I guess so. The Braves will play Wednesday, I believe, or whoever gets through.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's hard. You got to get by this Monday first.
I know. It's very confusing. But, yeah, 2 games today, and then, boom, right to the playoffs.
East Carolina and Charlotte, 3:30 kickoff on ESPNU, and then the Pirates have that bye week coming up, so it'd be big to get that win. And Clip, you were talking about it on the pregame show the other day. Just think, if you beat UTSA, beat Charlotte, all of a sudden you're 2-0, you're 4-2 on the year, 2-0 in the conference, and you go to Army, and what a matchup that could be.
Yeah, just looking ahead, I think Army would be undefeated at that point, and
Should
potentially
be
in the top 25. So, that win on Saturday was big. I think
so
just moving
too.
forward, and now you kind of get beyond those 2 straight losses, and now you're looking at this conference saying it's very winnable at this point.
And you look at what happened in that game when the Pirates, gave up that, disastrous run that got UTSA back in the game, and then they throw a pick right after that. And that could have been a pick 6. I mean, it was close. He was ruled out of bounds. They reviewed it. He was in bounds. But the way they were able to persevere after that, and we've talked about so much this year that sometimes teams have to learn, how how to win a game like that, and perhaps they took a big step toward doing that in this game.
We still have to learn how to win a game on offense. We can't have 7 possessions in the fourth quarter. They learned how to win a game at the end, but they need to learn how to win it on offense.
Yeah, I agree, and they've got to get that running game going. That's what Coach Mattox was talking about earlier. 36 carries, 47 yards against UTSA. They've had much better performances from the team running the football earlier in the year, but not so much in that game against UTSA. And again, I think UTSA is one of the better teams in the American Athletic Conference. Some had picked them to win the conference championship. So a 30-20 win for East Carolina was big. And next up, the 49ers of Charlotte as East Carolina takes on the 49ers coming up on Saturday. All right, we'll wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show. I want to thank Matt Mattox, East Carolina offensive line coach, for joining us from over at his office at East Carolina. We'll, of course, be back here next week with the Brian Bailey Show. Have a great sports week, everybody.
This has been the Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
The Angus Grill, Bostic Sub, Bojangles, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
Join us next week for another edition of the Brian Bailey Show, right here on Pirate Radio. This is